Hey guys, it's Bailey. Welcome back to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Today I'm going to be back into the declutterings. For those that missed it, I just recently decluttered my primers and I'm on a mission to pretty much go through my whole collection. So subscribe if you want to see more of that. And if you want my tips to declutter, I will put a link down in the description box below where you can sign up to get a full decluttering tip sheet. It's just 3 quick tips, but like if you're having trouble decluttering like I sometimes can, these are just my 3 tips slash just like the things that I keep in mind whenever I want to do a thorough purge. So go check that out. But today we are talking about setting powders, both loose and pressed. I think this is the last of like the lesser intimidating portions of my collection. Beyond that, we're gonna get into foundations, highlights, eyeshadows. I have so many of those things and some of them just have to go, and so I'm a little more nervous about those because I'm trying to be cutthroat. So we're taking it easy again today with some setting powders, but stay tuned, like I said, if you want to see more of the rest. Let's get into it. Alrighty, let's tackle the decluttering of the setting powders. I'm going to start with the loose powders, which we have laid out here, and then I'm also going to go into the few pressed powders that I have. This is another less intimidating category for me because kind of like primers, which if you didn't catch my primer decluttering, I will put it right up here. You can go click, where is it? It's something's over here. If you go click that eye, it'll drop down. But you can go check out the primer videos, but this is another one that I wanted to follow up with because again, it was just a little less intimidating compared to something like eyeshadow palettes or foundations because it's not something I typically focus all that much on. That said, we got a little bit to get to, so let's go ahead and dive in. First, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this guy from IT Cosmetics. It is not even opened and I don't think I'm going to open it because it is tinted. It is the Bye Bye Pores Tinted Skin Blurring Finishing Powder in medium, and I can already see in looking through here that this is going to be a little too deep for my skin tone, so I'm gonna go ahead and donate this because it's still sealed. Same kind of story for the Celebrate Pro powder. I got this in a goodie bag from the makeup show, I believe. This is a loose mineral finishing powder in the shade Saffron, so it has a slight yellow tint to it, and for what I typically use setting powder for, which is my under eye area, I just don't need this kind of color correction, and even if I would use it across the rest of my face, I just don't need that kind of tint. One I know I'm going to get rid of is the Kat Von D Brightening powder in Petal. This I think was specifically formulated for the under eye area, and while it is super finely milled, I just didn't notice that the pink tint, the brightening pink tint that it has to it, was very flattering to my under eye area. So this is going out the door too. I just realized I have 2 of the Dermablend powders. This is a sample, I think, or not a sample, but like something I got for buying Dermablend from Ulta. They included this in with it, but I already had the larger size. It's a good setting powder. It can leave a little bit of the white cast, as I'm sure you can tell by how white it is in the jar, but this is totally unopened, so I'm gonna donate this one too, and then keep this one. Let's now talk about the Lancome Absolute powders. The 2 shades that I have are Absolute Golden and Absolute Pêche. I really like these, and part of what I had hoped would happen with the decluttering was kind of rediscovering those products that I had loved but ditched just, you know, for the sake of trying something new or just forgetting about them amongst the clutter. So these are 2 that I'm so excited to bring back into my routine, especially as we get into spring and summer, because I love the way, even though these have some illumination to them, for whatever reason, they just look so beautiful and last so well on my combo skin. So I think I'm gonna really love these, especially as the weather warms up. The Kat Von D Translucent Setting Powder is another easy one for me because this was a long-standing love, so I know that if I were to go back to it, I would love it just as much. So that is a keep too. This is where it gets hard for me because I know with those that I've already set aside, I have enough setting powder to last me a lifetime, especially given how frequently I use it. So it's getting harder for me to justify keeping all of these, even though they may very well be good setting powders. So we gotta just start being cutthroat. So let's talk about these first. So these are the multicolored, what are these called? Skin Balancing Pearls. They actually have a hint of shimmer, so I'm going to keep these just because honestly it has been so long since I had even considered these. They have just a super subtle shimmer to them that kind of remind me of the Lancome powder, so I do want to keep this around just in the event I run out of those, or I'm just looking for a more affordable alternative because without trying them on my face, it looks very sneakily similar. And the last 3, we have the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores in Translucent. This is super finely milled, but just not one of my favorites. The RMS Beauty, this is the unpowder, and I really like this because it is so finely milled, but it's slightly tinted. I liked it because it gave me more coverage, but I didn't like it because it's a little too deep for me. And that was even in the summer when I had a little bit of glow because I'd been out in the sun. And so if I wasn't using it then, I definitely don't think I'm going to use it from here on out. And so I think my mom or my sister might get a little bit of better use out of that. And then the last thing is the Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder. I know this is a cult classic and so many people like it, but it just didn't float my boat quite like it does everybody else who raves about it. And so because I have a couple of setting powders on deck between the Dermablend and the Kat Von D, I think I'm pretty set to go in the way of mattifying setting powders. So this is going to go to a new home as well. Now let's get into pressed setting powder. Honestly, this is going to be the shortest, sweetest portion of this video. I'm getting rid of all of these just because they're so old. The NYX HD is obviously well loved because I've hit pan big time on this guy, but it is old. The Rimmel Stay Matte is old. It started to smell funny on me, and the NYC Smooth Skin is not only old, but of these three, definitely throws more of a white cast of the three, and as a result, I just find I use it less. So these are all out the door. Alright, so what are we keeping? We have our e.l.f. Mineral Pearls, and in the vein of shimmery or illuminating setting powders, we also have the Lancome Absolute powders, so that covers me for shimmer or highlight or illumination or whatever you want to call it. And then for my mattifying powders, I have the Kat Von D Lock It Translucent Setting Powder and the Dermablend Setting Powder Original. There you have it. That is everything I'm keeping. I feel like this was another good one. I feel solid about it. Everything that I'm not keeping is either going to a new home or getting trashed as they should. This feels good. I'd love to hear your thought, like what's your favorite setting powder? Are any of these your favorites? What are you keeping? Are you in the purge mode? Let me know down in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that like button if you want to keep seeing these decluttering videos going. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye guys!